ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Saturday. I hope that your weekend has started well and that you had a good week as well. Now, just before coming on screen, as I've just appeared, there's a tiny fly that I was trying to catch, but I didn't get it. So, if it flies in my face during this live stream, you'll know what it's all about. And yeah, if it goes in my mouth or something, then it's going to be the end of the live stream. But anyway, hello to you guys in the live chat room. Thank you for joining me tonight. And actually, with my feed, when it started, I was getting that circle just loading every now and again. I'm not sure whether that's something that's happening just for my particular view because I'm streaming, but I'm watching it at the same time to try and make sure that everything works. I don't know whether it's the case that it's constantly loading all the time, but who knows? Maybe you guys can let me know in the live chat room that you can see me and hear me and that everything's working well. But I can see everyone saying hi, so hello guys. Who do we have in there tonight? We have Pam, K, 36, Lucy, Sheila, Laurie, Mimi, 321, Lisa, Angela, Paul, Rowe, Corey, P, and Tammy, Billy going through as well, and I cannot keep up with all of the names going through. So, hello everybody. I'm going to be reading to see if... Oh, Suzanne says all is good. So I will just continue and not be put off by what I can see on my screen. What I can see, the feed that I've got, it looks like a 1990 computer game, you know, really pixely, so the quality is absolutely awful from what I'm looking at, but it might just be because I'm using too much or putting out too much information as the upload, and then I can't download as much to watch it. But I can see that I am moving, so that's got to be a positive thing. Let me get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place. Massive shout out to these lovely people that are the foundation of everything that I do, as I always say, and their names go across the live streams on a Tuesday and a Saturday. So thank you guys at the bottom of the screen. And we're going to be getting the likes goal up on screen as well because that's incorrect. Let me... Uh-oh, what have I done? Okay, I'm going to click on that. I'm doing this manually to see if... Right, so we're going to go for... I think it's 161 is going to be the fill jam. Let me just quickly check. It's 162. So let me change it to that. Right, the important part is that it's 545 likes. That's what we're aiming for tonight. So if you could leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be very much appreciated because it is a huge total for tonight. In fact, it's going to be a record attempt, as every Saturday recently has been. We're going to be aiming for 545, which would be the most that we've ever got on a live stream. And I think that's correct. Did we do 540 last week? I think I changed it to 545. And because I'm doing so many things before the live stream and trying to sort everything out, making sure the video and the sound's working, then I do lose track of where we are. Also with the subscriber count, because recently things have been good and busy on the channel, and we have been increasing in subscriber count as well, which is great. So we will address that in a second. The last thing I need to get up on screen is the donations tab. Just so you guys know, you don't have to donate, just watching is great. You can introduce yourself into the live chat room, maybe leave a thumbs up, that would be very much appreciated, but you don't have to donate. Now, for those people that can't resist donating, I think it's important that they know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below. But yeah, just watching is great. Right. Oh, just had a message here. Phil, why do you do the Phil Jam on likes rather than watchers? So thank you for that. And it's just what it's always been. As you can see, we've done 161 jams trying to hit a particular likes goal, and that's just how we do it. So the other problem is that with people watching, I've got to be constantly looking at the screen to see how many people are viewing, and we might hit the number when I'm not looking, and then I might not do the jam because I think we haven't hit the number of viewers that's required, or something like that. So at the moment I can see there's 305 viewers, so I don't know, I'd have to keep on looking at that. Whereas the likeometer that we have up on screen, we can see has 287, and because I've got a version of the live stream in front of me, it means that I can keep an eye on that, even though I might be a little bit... Obviously, I'm live, I'm as recent as I can get, but when I watch the feedback, obviously it's gone to the YouTube servers and then it comes back. That's why I'm looking at a feed that's a little bit delayed. So what I'm doing now, I won't see until maybe 10 seconds time. So it still means that I can see the numbers on screen, whereas trying to find the viewers is going to be a bit of a nightmare. And as for the total viewers, I don't know that exists anywhere until after the live stream, and then when people can watch it in the future on catch up, it then has the number underneath the video, but I don't know how to keep track of how many people are watching, as in, say for example 313 now, and then there might be, we're going to need another 200 plus people to get involved by the end of the live stream. So I don't know how to equate that or keep a track of how many people have watched. So anyway, short answer is how we've always done it, because it's the easiest thing to track and for me to look at. So anyway, we are at 308 likes so far, which is great. Thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. We will keep an eye on that, because if we get 4 more, that means we'll be looking for, it's something like 230 more likes. Does that might be correct? I think it might be. So that number is what I'm going to go with. That's the maths done for tonight. And let's skip this advert. Now, this is something that I have noticed because recently it's been busy on the channel. And when I say that, it means that lots of people are subscribing, watching the videos, which is great. But with all of those people, YouTube then decides to put even more adverts on everything, including these live streams. So last time, somebody told me that I skipped 6 adverts, and normally I don't really have to skip any. So there's obviously an algorithm that is in charge of placing adverts on the live streams, and the more people that are watching, the more adverts you're going to have on your video, or you're going to have to keep skipping through. I do try to skip as many as possible so you guys can actually see what I'm talking about, especially if you ask me a question and then I'm answering it, but then an advert comes on so you don't hear the answer, which would be a bit of a nightmare. So that's something that I've noticed, definitely an upturn in adverts recently, just over the last live stream, and then this live stream I've already had to cancel one. So anyway, now that we've got everything organised and on screen, and we know what we're aiming for, another 210. That's slightly easier to work out. 210 likes until we have the jam number 162. And tonight we have the vote for the cover video, which is between Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For and Don't Slow Down. And I can see that Still Haven't Found What I'm has 60% of the vote so far. And that's because I run out of characters to put that option in there. You're only allowed a particular amount of those, so I don't get to fit in the whole title. But that Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For U2 fans, or even not fans of U2. Maybe you like the song, maybe you don't like the song, but whichever song you want to hear. The other song is by Mr. Mister, and it's going to be my cover of that song if you guys want to hear that, and that's Don't Slow Down. So vote for whichever one you want. So, Harry just says, how can I improve my mid-range voice? Oh, it went through too quickly. Oh, let me just try and grab this. Okay, how can I improve my mid-range voice? I sing the darkness, the stylistics, Frankie Valli with ease, and lows are good, but I'm struggling mid-range. Any advice? So thank you for that, Harry. And I think you're probably the opposite to most singers, that everyone sings in their chest voice and everything's fine, but as soon as they get to head voice and falsetto and all that kind of stuff, it's then really difficult. So yeah, with mid-range, I mean, oh, there's the fly. I'm going to have to ignore him. The thing is, it's a tiny one, so trying to get it is going to be a nightmare. I won't let it distract me, even though it just did. So I'd say, yeah, the way to strengthen your mid voice is try to find exactly where your voice crosses over, where you might have a vocal break or you might not, but it's understanding where your voice is in chest voice, and then how much you're then handing it off to head voice. And when you get up really high, at which point you're totally then handing it off to head voice. And also understanding your head voice and falsetto, because that's something that falsetto is a totally different vocal register that you can't blend with head voice or chest voice. So it means that as you go up into that sound, if you hold a note and go up as high as you can, if it doesn't break off, it means that you're going into your head voice. And if it does break off, when I say break off, you might have a vocal break in your voice that's like a yodel, but that's going between chest voice and head voice. But if you start up high and come down, which is probably a better way to do it, if you start up high and come down as far as you can, if you're in falsetto, your voice will break and you won't be able to go into your chest voice. It doesn't connect. So that's the way to know whether you are actually singing in your falsetto register or your head voice. Falsetto you can't blend with lower range, whereas head voice, if you start really high and come back down, that'll all be connected. So yeah, it's good to know which vocal registers you're using, because then you'll know when you're using chest voice, when you're using head voice, and when you might be going into falsetto. So then you want to try and work on the part of your voice that is just between chest voice and head voice. So you might find that, say for example, I go, oh, and because I'm keeping that all in chest voice, when I go, oh, I'm kind of still. And if I went higher, oh, you get stuck in a ceiling. So you have to start blending it with head voice. So you're going, oh, oh. So you can hear how the tone changes, but it's because I'm starting to bring my head voice into it. So it's working on a scale, working your way through. You don't have to go all the way up to it like that, but you might want to do that to find where the weak point is, and then wherever that weak point is, just sing a scale around that part of your voice. And it doesn't even have to be like going na you might just go through a few notes, and you might have to do like an octave or 2 octaves worth of scales in one exercise, but just work your way up and then find where that point is. And as you go na and you might find that it's around there. So yeah, and then it's a case of obviously making sure that you're taking a diaphragmatic breath and setting yourself a and trying to balance your airflow, in order to get all the notes the same volume. So yeah, that's what I'd suggest working at, or just understanding your voice a bit more. I think so much of singing is understanding your voice, because I know from having done loads of vocal courses that it is so unique and personal. I've done loads of vocal courses that have never allowed me to do what I want to do with my voice, because you can know all the theory in the world, but nobody else, or somebody who's demonstrating, nobody else has got your voice. So when they say, and now do this with your voice, and they might go up into head voice and hit like a B4 or a C5 or a D5 in their head voice, and you might think, well, yeah, but my voice doesn't do that. Even though I'm in head voice, I get to a point where it doesn't do what this person's showing. And I've had that in every single vocal course that I've done. They'll get to a point where the person who's saying, and now what we're going to do is this, and they'll do something, think, well, my voice doesn't do that. And I know all the theory, I know what I should be doing, but vocal cords don't take instruction to say, okay, now what I want to do is use the perfect amount of airflow so that I go up into my head voice and keep a really clean, consistent tone with minimal effort. your vocal cords don't say, oh, okay, let's do that then. You know, you've got to try. It's like, you know, unlocking or getting a combination for a safe. You've got to just keep on doing it until you find the right combination for what you want to achieve. And that combination might take you your whole life to suss out, or even longer than your whole life. You could never suss it out. So yeah, I'd say it's just keeping that understanding of your voice, knowing where you are and where the weak points are, and just feel your way through those parts of your voice. Obviously, it's really difficult to give advice without hearing the vocal in itself, and to see where there might be a transitional problem, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, thank you for that question. And Justby said, Phil, why can I hear but can't sing? I'm not sure exactly what that means, or whether you can appreciate music but then you can't sing, or you can't hit pitches. And I wasn't planning on this live stream being a vocal based one, but considering that I'm getting a few questions, I will get into the donations, so don't worry about those. Harry's gone through saying brilliant advice, thanks Wings of Pegasus, lots of practice for me, with a smiley face. So you're welcome. But yeah, practice makes consistent, and that's what I always say, rather than practice makes perfect, because especially with singing, it's never going to be perfect, and you don't want to be perfect. You want to just be singing with your own voice. And that's another thing. Yeah, I would say that don't worry about trying to change your tone or anything, unless that's it, you're trying to imitate somebody else's voice. Just work with your own voice. Obviously, you can work with making it more, you know, chesty, like going no, and then going ah, and change, you know, mess around with your own tone. But yeah, don't worry about, for example, trying to copy somebody who's got loads of rasp in their voice, and you're trying to copy it, and you might damage your vocals. So you want to get your vocals sounding like you to begin with, and then once you understand your voice quite well, then you can start to, you know, look at maybe adding a bit more rasp and all that kind of stuff. But you want to be doing it all safely. So yes, now what was that question that I was just asked? Oh, hearing but not being able to sing. So yeah, I'm not sure. Another point that is brought up sometimes when people mention about having seen somebody who's got, well, perfect pitch, or which means if they've got perfect pitch, they're not pitch perfect, which is singing and sounding like they are exactly where they need to be vocally, because that's just something musical. Whereas, yeah, having perfect pitch means that you can hear a note and say what that note is without having to, you know, look at anything, with no reference point. You just know what the notes are. So that is nothing to do with singing in a pitch perfect way. And this is a great demonstration of what I was saying a minute ago about the human voice. You can know all the theory in the world, but it doesn't, your vocal cords won't follow what you want it to do. So with that in mind, people who have perfect pitch, meaning that they can hear a note and tell you exactly what that note is, when they then go to sing that note, it isn't perfect. And that's, for me, in a nutshell, what the human voice is. That they know exactly where the note is, they know, you know, what it's called, they know the exact frequency because they can hear it and say, oh, that note is this. And then you say, well, sing that note, and they sing it, and they will be sharp, they will be flat. Because when it comes to singing, everyone's in the same boat, unless you're using pitch correction or auto-tune. And everyone who uses that are in the same boat, because it's going to get automatically stuck to lines, so you don't have to worry about your pitch as much. But just skipped another advert there. But yeah, it's a great demonstration of the fact that people can hear, you know, pitch perfectly and have perfect pitch, but everyone's in the same boat when it comes to singing. So yeah, in terms of hearing pitch or being able to appreciate music, all that kind of stuff, I would say that the way to approach it, if you just don't know pitch and you don't know how to do it with your voice, I always say, if you've seen Doctor Who, just impersonate a Dalek and go or try and talk like a robot. Say, hello, how are you? This is me talking on pitch, so I'm not changing the pitch at all, I'm maintaining the same frequency. So when you're doing that, you're talking on pitch. So if I go I'm talking on pitch, and I'm gonna hold a hold a word for a long time. And if I go long time, add in a little bit of vibrato, and now now that's a note. And you can, if you think, right, I can't hear any notes, I can't do anything, but you can impersonate a robot and then hold a robot note, you're holding a note, which means that there are only so many notes in your range. You've already done one of them, so you just go to the other notes. So a great thing to use for kind of figuring that out is to get the vocal pitch monitor, the thing that I use in the videos, which is a free Android app, and that's why I use it. So you guys can use it at home to compare your voice with voices that we do analyze, but you can look at that and see the notes, and you can change your robot voice until you're close to a line and then try and maintain it. So yeah, and there are singers who don't have a naturally wide vibrato and they sing quite straight. So once you start to get a handle of where the note is, and even if you can't tell what's higher and lower, just try and do a different robot voice and you'll see on the vocal pitch monitor either the line's gone higher or the line's gone lower. So then you'll be able to teach your ear to hear that difference between having a robot voice that might be up here and a robot voice that might be down there. You'll start to see that, those are in different places, but all you're doing is, being a robot, maintaining pitch, which is what singing is all about, really. It is so important to be able to hit pitches accurately when you're singing, build up that muscle memory in your voice, and then, you can work out the techniques such as vibrato to make it sound a little bit nicer to the ear and make it sound like singing. So, there you go. Laura says it's monotone. So thank you for that. So, talking like a robot. I think maybe people know what monotone is, and that's something that I notice about people sometimes, like Emma Raducanu, who's a tennis player for I don't think she did the Olympics, maybe she did, but anyway, she's an English tennis player and she won the US Open, I believe, a few years ago, but she always talks like this and always talks at the same pitch, no matter the question that she's asked or how animated she might be after a particular performance. And, she'll say, well, I did play well, but my opponent, played well as well. So, it's really good to be through. And it's always, it's always on that same level. So I do start to notice things about talking voices, but also my talking voice. Like there, I went up because my vocal line would go all over the place when I'm talking. So, you start to understand what you do with your own voice when you're talking, especially if you're looking at it through a pitch monitoring piece of software, such as the vocal pitch monitor. You can just talk and see the notes that you're hitting. Everybody doesn't, well, a lot of people don't realise that when you're talking, you're hitting notes. So all you've got to do is just understand what you're doing when you are talking and control it. And by doing it like a robot or keeping it monotone, then you'll start to get a bit of a grip, hopefully, on what singing is and then how to do it. So, right, we will jump into the donations. So, first of all, Paul donated $2 in the Super Chat window, so thank you for that. And the message is 402,000 subscribers. Awesome. Spike those likes. Rock. And then Paul donated another $2 after that, saying, hold the presses. Now it's 403,000 subscribers. Yay. So thank you for that, Paul. And I'm going to click on this and get it on screen and see what it says. It still says 400,000 and over 100 million views, which is technically correct for the views, but I'm going to have to change this to 403,000. We already know it's had over 100 million, so we don't need to keep that anymore. So there we go. And for future live streams, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so that it's neater when it comes up on screen. Not too much though. There we go. 403,000 subscribers. That looks a little bit neater than it did, I think, before. I just did those changes, which is good. Thank you guys for subscribing, and if you want to get notified for all of the videos, including the live streams, make sure that you click on that notification bell as well. But 403,000, which is amazing. We'll keep on pushing forward and see where we end up. Right, Thank you for that, Paul. Orlando donated $5 as well and said, I am working on my day off, but I will try to stop in. Spike the likes with some thumbs up, and says, hi, Paul, with a wave in brackets at the end there. Thank you for that, Orlando. And Diamond Girl has donated $5 as well and says, good job, with a thumbs up. So thank you for that. And Sue just jumped in there with a $9.99 donation. Thank you for that, Sue. And the message is 403,000 subscribers. Can't be wrong. Congrats. So thank you for that. And I'm just thinking of that because of some of the troll comments that I get. And we're not going to have a troll corner tonight because a lot of the comments are just the same thing that I referenced last time, where people saying, oh, how dare you point this out? How dare you point that out? What, why does it matter? Why do you have to do that? And I already mentioned in the last live stream that these people don't realise that, for example, with the Celine Dion video, that there are people in the world with similar, if not the same, health issues who used to be singers, and they can't understand how Celine has managed to do what she's done, or what it looked like she had done for the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games. Those people don't understand. So I have to let them know, or I think it's important that they do know, so they don't question themselves, that they don't get depressed that they can't do it, or that there's like a secret exercise that they don't know how to do, and it's nothing to do with their illness. They should be able to do it. Whereas I think it's important that they know that no, you shouldn't be able to do it. You shouldn't put that pressure on yourself, because what you're watching isn't what you think it is. So yeah, people can't see it, or they don't see it from that point of view. So of course they say, oh, why did you make this video? Well, first of all, it is requested, as all my analysis videos are. But second of all, it's important to get the truth out there, so that, for those people that are watching who have those problems and are struggling, that they know, that they think, oh, well, okay, it's not what I thought it was, so I won't be as hard on myself with where I am with my vocals, and trying to recover. So yeah. Anyway, no troll corner for tonight, but we will jump into... Peridot has donated £5. Thank you for that. And the message is, what can you do to develop your voice if you are tone deaf? So thank you for that. And pretty much what I've just said, and I don't know whether you've just jumped into the live stream, but impersonate a robot, there are lots of different, pitch analysis apps and Android apps, and I think there's probably one on the Apple Store. I haven't got an iPhone, so I just use an Android app called Vocal Pitch Monitor. Just get that on your phone, and it uses the microphone on your phone, so you'll be able to talk into it, and you'll see the line going up and down, and that's showing you the pitch of your voice. And then try and make the sound of a robot. So just keep talking at the same pitch, which is what I've just you can maybe rewind the live stream and see what I was talking about. But try to impersonate a robot so that you're talking on the same pitch and you're not changing the note, and then look at what's happening on the screen. It should be a relatively straight line if you're imitating a robot, and then try and move that line around when you're looking at it, and then you'll start to notice what a higher pitch is and what a lower pitch is, because it's all about teaching your ear. That's what learning to sing is all about, because some people won't know what a high note is and they won't know what a low note is. But like there, I'm hitting a higher note here when I'm talking, and now I'm going down. I'm hitting a lower note down here. So notes are pitches. Pitches are frequencies. So we're doing this all the time when we talk. So when you're talking, you are hitting different pitches. It's just that your ear and your brain doesn't take it in as that. So you already know how to do it, but you're not appreciating what you're doing on a daily basis, just when you're talking. So that's the thing that I'd advise. Get the Vocal Pitch Monitor. Just speak into your phone, imitate a robot, try and get the line to look like a straight line, because when you're talking, you'll see the lines going up and down and all over the place. Whereas when you start to imitate a robot, or monotone, as Laura said, you'll notice how the line is less random. It should start to level out a bit. And then you can try and aim for one of the lines and get it as close as possible. But when you then do get into singing, you'll realize it's not actually about hitting lines. It's about putting the stylizations and emotions into your vocal, and the lines are secondary. But if you're learning, then that's going to work as just a good visual cue for you to be able to work that out. So yeah, and I think that it's just training your ear. It's really like anything that you learn in life. Everybody starts off being rubbish at everything until you practice it. And the people that become very good at things and become, at a professional standard of doing something have done that thing usually from a very young age for multiple hours a day, and they keep on doing it and they keep on doing it. And if you approach it like that, your ear learns pitch, and then you'll know what a high note is, you'll know what a low note is, and you'll start to learn how to do it with your voice. And you're probably already doing it, you're just not appreciating it. So yeah, when you can start to see it on screen, that's when you'll then realize, oh, I am hitting notes that are different. Because maybe people think that they talk all on one line and they don't know how to hit the other lines. Whereas when you look at it, you'll see that no, your voice will be all over the place. Because even trying to keep on a line is really difficult. Again, unless it has been manipulated with pitch correction or auto-tune. But anyway, thank you for that donation. And I'm going to jump over to the PayPal window because there has been a donation over there as well. So thank you for this. It's Nicole who donated £10. And the message is, hello Phil, the weather forecast promises for the south of France over 40 degrees. I hope the English skies will be fresh. Congrats and support. Rock always. So thank you for that, Nicole. And it hasn't been too hot here, maybe in the mid to high 20s, which is okay. And tonight it isn't too bad. So I haven't got the air conditioning on, but I have got the fan setting on. So it's just a bit of a breeze in here, which is good. But yeah, not as crazy hot as it has been. But I think it is going to be heating up maybe tomorrow or later in the week from what I've heard. Tammy has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Tammy. And the message is, hi Phil, congratulations on hitting 403,000 subscribers. Man alive, your channel is growing so fast we have to run to keep up with you. What do you think is the biggest misconception about being a musician? Rock. So thank you for that, Tammy. And first misconception that everybody has is that getting a record deal is a good thing. Getting a record deal is a loan in exactly the same way that it would be if you went to a bank. That loan has to be repaid. So if you don't repay the loan, then you owe the record label and they will take money from you sometimes for years after your recording contract has finished because you owe them that money. So yeah, this is why the artists who sell, millions of albums, millions of singles, they're okay because the record label has broken even, but even still, they've signed over all of their rights to their music, their publishing rights. So it means that they're not going to get paid royalties, which is where the money is. So there's been so many cases of musicians who have been famous, but they haven't made any money. And I've spoken about George Michael in the past, about being one of those that, with Wham, they were famous, but they didn't make any money. Because obviously they were so young when they signed the record deal, they didn't know what they were signing. They just assumed that it was good what they were doing, whereas they didn't realise that the record label did a contract where they took everything, and they were just using them, two young guys, for their own purposes to make as much money as possible, and they signed contracts, so they didn't have a say in it, unfortunately. So that's the first misconception, is that if you sign a recording contract, that's somehow a good thing. I think in this day and age, it's not. It really isn't to sign over any of your rights to any of your music. I think it's a lot better to stay independent and just try and work as much as you can. And then if you do start to get a little bit of traction and people like your music and start to buy it, you'll have to sell a tiny percentage, probably between 3 and 5% of what a signed artist sells in order to make the same amount of money. So because that's why the reason it works is you're signing over between kind of 95 to 97% of everything to a record label, and you might keep 3%. So it means that when you then are independent, whatever a signed artist is selling, take 3% of that number, and that's what you have to sell to earn the same amount of money. So obviously it takes a lot of work to stay independent, but that's the ultimate goal. And I always thought that if I keep on working at it, at some point in the future, I'm going to get paid for my time, because all I need to do is earn 3% of what a signed artist is, and I'll be getting the same amount of money that they are. So that's how I always saw it. And I still own everything. So then when there are royalties, if your songs get played or used on YouTube, you will get the royalties for your songs, because that's something that the signed artists aren't getting. They're not getting paid kind of 3% and then getting royalties on top of that. They're just getting, you know, a tiny percentage of all the sales that they're making. So anyway, yeah, so that's it. The second misconception is that it's going to be easy, like staying independent, that you just don't really have to do much, and you know, you're lazy and all this kind of stuff. It's quite funny when I get a troll who's, you know, says something like get a proper job or something like that, not realizing that I can guarantee that whoever's made that comment, I guarantee without doubt my hours of work are longer than theirs, because it never stops. It's genuinely just an ongoing thing that I'm constantly answering emails and, you know, answering comments, and then I've got the live streams, making the videos, doing research for videos, editing videos, and yeah, doing the emails, and you know, about the sponsorship emails that I get as well, organising interviews for the future, such as the SEAL one that we're going to be doing soon, and everything just is ongoing. So there's no such thing as a day off. My my days off are a Monday and a Thursday, which are admin days, which means I've got 2 days in the week to catch up with all of the messages that I'm receiving now during the live streams, because as you can see, I'm not answering messages or emails, and the messages that I receive when I'm doing my videos, which take between 6 and 12 hours to make. So while I'm making videos and recording and editing, I'm obviously not answering emails. So it means that all of those stack up, and on Patreon, all of my social media, all of those stack up, and I do get through them. CD orders as well, I do those on a Monday and Thursday. So on my website, wingsofpegasus.com/music, any albums, they get all ordered there. If they are signed or just the physical copy, I send those out on my admin days. So again, everything that I'm doing outside of a Monday and a Thursday is all piling up, and then I get all of that done on a Monday and a Thursday. So yeah, I know that I class that as my day off, but it is just a full day of doing admin. So that's the other thing that, yeah, these people that say, oh, you know, get a proper job, it's like, well, I know for a fact that they're probably having some kind of time off somewhere, even if it's just a Saturday or a Sunday or a bank holiday Monday, where they don't have to go to work. Yeah, I never really know when a bank holiday is, because it's just a Monday to me, or a Friday. You know, it's just a daily thing. You do it day by day. So that's the biggest misconception. I think that, yeah, it's really easy to do it all yourself. It definitely isn't. But I would say that it's worth it in the end if you do get there, because it makes you appreciate it even more. Thank you for that, Tammy. And moving on, we have Lydia, who's donated £10.26. Thank you for that. The message is, hello, Phil. Here is a small contribution to celebrate your 400,000 plus subscribers. Thank you for the joyful streams, the jams, your enthusiasm, and your dedication for keeping the real music by real musicians spirit alive, and for being my own weekly English listening practice as well. Your analysis are really spot on. I haven't found yet someone doing something so thoroughly done in French. You rock, Lydia, aka Purple Velvet, in the chat room. So thank you for that as well, the kind words. And yeah, this is it, the real music by real musicians. Another thing that keeps me busy is my side project that I'm working on. I've done quite a lot of that today as well. So this is the other problem that I have. I'm doing other things as well as all of the really busy things. I'm working on future things that I think I see as really important for the music industry going into the future, because I'm in a privileged position of having a lot of people that watch my videos, but also I get to understand what the general consensus is by people that are going to watch gigs, that they do actually care if a gig is being lip synced and they don't know about it. So all that kind of stuff for the future, that's what I'm setting up in the background at the moment, and I'll do an announcement of that once I have got it all organized. But there's a lot of unfortunately, there's a lot of legal stuff that you have to go through, and this is what I'm doing at the moment, just getting terms and conditions and all that kind of stuff. And what's the other thing? It's protection of privacy or something. Even though the website that I'm setting up, it doesn't have cookies and it doesn't take your data and it doesn't give your information to different companies, because it's me setting it all up. So I think that that's all ridiculous, that you get asked about your cookies getting sent off to companies that have nothing to do with you and they're getting information about you. So even though I'm setting up my website that's got none of that, it's not going to take anybody's data, you still have to go through the privacy policy, I think it's called. You have to go through all of that to just clarify that you're not going to be doing all of it, because everyone does it. So for you not to do it is kind of against the grain. So yeah, that's another thing that I've been trying to work out today. But once all of that's sorted, I will let you guys know about it over on Patreon. Of course, that's where I announce everything first. But thank you, Debbie, as well, who has donated £10. And I know that time is moving on and we are closing in on that goal for tonight of 545. It would be a new record. So I'm looking forward to 21 more people to hit that target. If you could hit the thumbs up, would be massively appreciated. So Debbie says, hi Phil, congrats on 403,000 subscribers. I really enjoyed the recent analysis you did on Tony Bennett. There didn't seem to be a lot of melody notes being played for him, just pure accompaniment. Very different from today's performance standards. You are awesome. Love you, Debbie. So thank you for that. And Dawn has donated £3.76 with a straight up donation. No message there, but thank you for that, Dawn. Laura's donated £10. Thank you for that, Laura. And the message is, Phil, I just sent another item for tonight's picture corner. So it's 2 from the group for tonight. Thanks. Okay. So that's something that I'm going to have to try and do on the fly later on in picture corner. I say later on, probably quite soon. We'll do it after the cover video. But thank you for that, Laura. And Gordon has donated £5.47. Thank you for that, Gordon. The message is, to everyone out there, please spike the likes. And Phil, I hope you keep up with your analysis videos, as they help us understand how much is behind the content we consume every day. So thank you for that, Gordon. And Nela has donated £4.10. So thank you for that. And it just says donation. So thank you for that, Nella. And Karen donated £3.76. Thank you for that, Karen. The message is, hi Phil, congratulations on hitting 403,000 subscribers. You've hit the fabulous 400,000 through perseverance and awesomeness. Many thanks for all you do and for being you. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that, Karen. And the kind words, Joe has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Joe. The message is, just want to acknowledge how well you've done with recent jams, with key or mode changes, especially as they are difficult for you to hear live. Very impressive. So thank you for that, Joe. And yeah, sometimes after the fill jams, I do send a message over to Joe just to, I don't know, revisit it. Because sometimes I know that because you guys, on the end of the stream, you're hearing not the track coming out of my speakers, but you're hearing it coming from YouTube, so that you get the direct feed. And yeah, with some of the backing tracks, especially if there's a lot of keys in there or synth or not a predominant kind of bass, I'm just going to skip that advert. Yeah, it's difficult to hear just exactly what the chord is, especially on keys. If it's strings or something, there might be a note in there that is difficult to determine when I'm playing with my guitar behind me and hearing it out the speakers. So yeah, it can be a little bit hit and miss with whether I'm hearing it correctly or not. But yeah, that's just the nature of the fill jams. But thank you for that, Joe. And Adriana has donated £3.74. Thank you for that. And the message is, keep up the excellent work. So I will try. And thank you for the kind words. Janice has donated £40. So thank you for that, Janice. And the message is, hello, Philip. I have been seriously ill for going on a month now. So I'm sorry I haven't been able to donate lately. I hope you and all the wingers are doing well. I miss you guys. So thank you for that, Janice. And I'm sure everyone in the live chat room hopes that you get well soon, as well as myself. It sounds like, yeah, that's quite a long thing. That's... I don't know, some people have long COVID. I know that I was fortunate that I didn't have that when I had COVID. Now, the thing is, a few years ago, I think it's just a couple of years ago, but I always try and do things. Whenever I'm ill, I go for it in being ill. Like, I can not be ill for ages, and I probably hadn't been ill for years before that. But then I tried to just do the best ever illness, which was getting the flu and COVID at the same time. So that's why I had to go to hospital and spend some time in there. But yeah, thankfully made a full recovery from that. Like I was saying, some people get long COVID, which I don't think I've got. In fact, I know that I don't struggle, breathing, all that kind of stuff. But one thing that I have noticed is that before I could stack up things in my head to talk about and I could go through them, whereas now I stack up things in my head to talk about, and when I go to reference them, they've disappeared. I thought, what was I going to say about one thing or another thing. So and it's just something that I have noticed, that after I was ill a couple of years ago, that is something that now isn't the same. But sometimes I remember what I was going to talk about, but yeah, I forget a lot about what I was thinking about getting to in the future, whether it be a conversation with someone or on a live stream or just something like that. So that's something I have noticed, but it could just be old age, but who knows. Thank you for that, Janice, and yeah, get well soon. Vera's donated £11.27. Thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, I am curious again, with all the work with all of the work you do, when and how do you find time to clean the house, do your laundry and iron your clothing? Maybe you have a housekeeper. Congratulations on the amazing growth in subscribers. You're amazing, Phil. So thank you for that, Vera. And today I've done 2 batches of laundry. What I do is I generally just save up a lot of clothes, put them all in the washing machine. And a washing machine cycle, there's a quick cycle that doesn't really do the job very well. It's like an hour. So I do like the 4 or 5 hour cycle, just leave that going, and that dries it as well. That dries the clothes. And because if I've got loads of clothes, I have to do 2 lots. And when they're dried, obviously then they're all crumpled up, which is a bit rubbish. So then I just put it over the back, the shirts over the back of the seat, such as this one, just t-shirts over the back of a seat. And yeah, everything else that doesn't need ironing, I can just fold that up, it's fine. But with the ironing, I bought, the ironing that I would do like normal people, I'm not very good at it. I figured out that this is going to take me about 8 years to do the ironing, and 8 years I don't have. So I bought a press, like an ironing press that you pull down and you pull up. So it means that I can now do a t-shirt in probably 20 seconds or 30 seconds. So I put it in there, squash it down, leave it for 5 seconds, lift it up, move it slightly further forward. So I do 3 times, just moving the shirt around so that it's ironed to at least a half decent standard, because hopefully you can see from this shirt, it's not creased all over the place, because that's what I do. So I cheat with the ironing, so I can get through all of my shirts in. I can remember I timed doing it with an iron. It took me like 2 hours or 2.5 hours, and I don't have that kind of time. So that's why I made the investment of buying the press, so now I can get all of my ironing done probably in half an hour. So it saved me, probably about 2 hours, which is good. The only problem is I do have to be careful with my hands because it's very, very hot, and sometimes I wear gloves so that if you do accidentally touch it, if you touch the press part of it, then you're going to get an instant burn because it's very hot indeed. So yeah, sometimes I wear gloves when I'm doing it, if I am doing it quickly. But yeah, everything in my life is about saving time. So that's what I've had to do with that. So no, unfortunately I don't have a housekeeper. Thank you for that, Vera. But then again, if you do have somebody doing it for you, I think it's the same with everything. What if they don't really iron your shirts very well? And you go, well, yeah, but it still looks a bit rubbish. So I'd rather probably do it myself anyway. So thank you for that, Vera. Right. Let's now jump into tonight's cover video because things are moving along. Then we'll get into Picture Corner. And the cover video for tonight is going to be a little bit of U2. Still haven't found what I'm looking for. It's going to be my version of that particular song. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I will see you after I just double clicked on the window and it disappeared. So now it's come back. I can click on that particular cover video and I'll see you guys after this. Rock! And there we have it. That was my version of Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For by U2. And I pretty much timed that almost perfectly before the end of the video. So, right, we are going to be jumping into Picture Corner for tonight. And we have hit our target of 545 likes. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. It means we're going to be having a Fill Jam later. I say later, pretty soon. And the Fill Jam is 6 minutes and 26 seconds in length. So we will jump into that after Picture Corner. And it's just hit midnight, so we will be able to fit everything in, which yeah, is a bit of a rare thing. We're always going over the time of 1:15 midnight but we should be able to fit it all in tonight. Let's get into Picture Corner, because I've got to try and figure out how to do this over on Facebook, the extra picture that Laura has sent me. So let's jump in there, see what's going on for tonight in Picture Corner and how this displays. Here we have it, and there we have it. So this picture has been sent in by Karen, so thank you for this, and this is to celebrate the 400,000 subscribers that we hit recently, so thank you, Karen. And I'm going to try and read this. It's a little bit small on my screen. I can see it says, and there we have it. And oh, here, congrats Phil on hitting the fabulous 400,000. And we've got some Wings of Pegasus mugs going on here. Let's see how they get on. And there we have it. So, oh, there's a little bit of me in cartoon form there, and some guitars. So thank you for sending that in, Karen. And by the way, if you are a Facebook user and you want to get involved yourselves, you can head over to the Wings of Pegasus supporters page over on Facebook, join in with that group, and you can upload a picture of you modelling any merch if you want to. Oh, I just missed an advert. It just said ads inserted that I looked over to the other side of the screen, so I missed an advert. Never mind. Anyway, just in case people are now watching an advert, thank you for that, Karen. And yeah, if you guys want to get involved yourselves or get any merch, there's a tray underneath this video. If there's no tray underneath this video with the merch, then there's a link in the description below. Spring.com, the store, spring.com, then you'll be able to click on the link and go through to and get any items that you wish. So, getting now, I tell you what, let me get rid of this, because I'm going to attempt to try and get the other picture that I've been sent over on Facebook. So this is trying to get it from the Facebook window. Right, this might be a little bit too small. Oh, right. Okay, move that there, get that there. Where's it going to show up? And it has shown up on screen, which is unbelievable. Right, so here we have Lynn, and the message is, I think, something unpredictable always happens when photographing Pluto. However, I was not expecting Gulliver, Ace and Dragon to gallop up to the fence to check out Pluto's Wings of Pegasus bucket hat. Recommend everyone get Wings of Pegasus hats for their horses. So thank you for that, Lynn and Laura, for linking me to it. Now, because of the way that I'm presenting this on screen, I can't really see too much going on. So, but I have seen the bucket hat before, of course. But thank you for sending that one in, Lynn. And yeah, if you want to get animals, it's an animal-friendly live stream. So if you don't want to model your Wings of Pegasus merch, but if you've got an animal, a pet that might want to do it, then you can do that instead if you want. So thank you, Laura, for linking me to those as well. That is Picture Corner for tonight. Let's get rid of that. And right, we are now back and ready to go. Now the problem is with Picture Corner, I play the guitar, just a few kind of jazzy chords, and I can never hear them. And it's the same when we get the subscriber thing. There should be applause and stuff, but I never hear that. So there could still be elevator music going on that I can't hear. So hopefully there isn't, and that it stopped when it should have stopped. But let's get into the Phil Jam for tonight, which is... I'm going to click on the link, and then I'm going to remember... Let that advert play through, and I'll mute it. I'm going to remember to turn on the microphone, which I think might make it go all echoey. Grab a guitar, and probably check tuning would be good. Okay, not bad. It'll do. As they say, it'll do for jazz. And this just happens to be smooth jazz backing track, 76 beats per minute for you tempo fanatics. And we have 251 key change. and this is coming from Essential Backing Tracks. So if you guys want to check this out, the Essential and Backing Tracks is all one word, so there's no gap between those if you want to find it on YouTube and jam along to this yourself. Right, now I think I've got a bit of kind of distortion on here, so I might go clean and see what this sounds like. So if you guys can let me know what the levels are like. Oh, zoom out as well. Did that just zoom out? Did I miss it? Okay, right, that's zoomed out. How far? Oh yeah, I am fully zoomed out, so it just looked like I was a little bit close in. Let's get into this. Let me know what the levels are like. If I have to adjust it, that would be very much appreciated. And let's have a listen to this, see what happens. Can you hear this? I can hear it, which is good. Sudden kind of ending, but I got away with it because I wasn't going too mental with it at that particular point. So there we have it. Yeah, a little bit of key change action going on there, but this is the thing, as soon as you hear a key change on a backing track, you're then wary for the whole backing track. So as soon as you get to the end of what you feel like would be a natural change to happen after a particular amount of bars, don't get stuck in doing some subconscious scale that you're playing through, because you have to wait to hear whether that next bar is going to change or not. So interesting one for tonight. That was Smooth Jazz backing track, 76 beats per minute, 251. That's the chord progression, key change, and that's from Essential Backing Tracks, all one word. If you guys want to check it out on YouTube, that's the place to go to jam along yourselves. So thank you, Joe, for sending that my way, and for you guys hitting the thumbs up, so we ensured that we had a fill jam on tonight's live stream. So there's going to be another video coming your way tomorrow night, 8 PM Greenwich Mean Time. That's when I always aim to release my videos, so look out for that. I'm going to be live streaming again on Tuesday night, 11 PM Greenwich Mean Time. That's where I will be. So if you guys can make it as well, that would be very much appreciated, because we'll be looking for the thumbs up again to bust out the guitar and have another jam. So all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will catch you guys at the next one. Rock!